Good evening, my friends. Tonight we're celebrating Let's Go Brandon. You know the one, it's fireworks night. You know the fireworks. There's a reason for that. Let's go Brandon, let's go Brandon. Why do we let's go Brandon? Because we like high prices. We like the effortless demolition and resignation of the annihilation of democracy. I mean, we love the annihilation of democracy, in tandem with big tech. Yes, let's go Brandon. So, but he's still entitled to be one with God. Because after all, Pope Francis did say and advise him to continue taking Holy Communion. Well, that's the advice. So we have an understanding that, well, maybe he is actually in control of his mind. I mean, if he's able to mutter 5 words, Brandon, President Brandon, presumably he must understand what those 5 words mean. Let's assume he does. Straight to the point, an open fifth. Anything can happen. When your future career, your household, your family is at risk of extinction, you're forced to make a decision. And that's when you enter either from third density into fourth density or fifth density, based on the conscious elemental understanding of where you are at present in this world. As Adamu states in Zingdad's presentation, zingdad.com, victory, /victory, zingdad.com, /victory. That is the channeling, which there is no way to describe the fundamental understanding which Zingdad enters into channeling Adamu. This is my response. That would be my own personal commentary on the state of affairs today, and what I personally think of President Brandon. When one enters into communion with Christ, when one receives in one's own internalized belief the very body of the Christ Godhead, one better be careful that one understands reality. The complacency in order to refuse to acknowledge what should be, what can be, and to unite the two. Again, just my feelings, but my feelings, my personal feelings. And they are not distraught. I have every countenance and expectation to uphold, would you believe, to uphold President Brandon in a certain prismatic light of projection, which is not white. And surely there is no animosity there. Would you believe that? My words are critical, but the music is different. There is no animosity towards President Brandon. Am I being too generous? I think not. I think not. This again is an appraisal of the current state which Pope Francis is adopting in the light, well, call it the Great Reset. It's either that or the Protestant financial system, but let's call it the Great Reset. Any of the prismatic figurative constraints to white light is not necessarily evil. How can this be? Can it be, as in A Course in Miracles, Foundation of Inner Peace, that evil in essence does not exist? It is merely the opposition. It's opposition, just two fingers to the light. The views of Satan. Again, Adamu invites Singdad on Anningham, singdad.com. The difference between Satan and the devil. there is a pronounced, well, I will not speak of evil, but Satan is a concept which, well, if something exists, well, one must hold a view that it is possible to establish a point of view where, well, we deny the existence of something which exists. Well, we can deny that. That's what Satan is all about, denial. So we do not deny ourselves the ability to be creative and constructive. We don't shut down pipelines. Do we? Pope Francis' statement that basically with Jansenism, yes, I understand Jansenism, that we are all saved. Conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh, yes, there is an understanding that is it meritable that hell does not exist? Just because you go past green traffic lights and nothing happens to you is not a natural course of events to proceed with when, in a similar situation, if you're colorblind and can't tell the difference between green and red, but let us say you can, and the lights are red, and you complacently put your foot down and cross red traffic lights, and nothing happens. You carry on. But what are the consequences? Could something have happened? May it possibly occur that when one crosses red traffic lights in a motor vehicle of sorts, potentially, well, it will have consequences because of surveillance systems, but is it wise? Is it wise to cross the accorded paths of safety into one of denial? No, I will not stop at red traffic lights. I will continue and cross red traffic lights. Is that wise? It would actually help if your motor vehicle had brakes which worked and which were functionable, so that you had the opportunity to arrest your course of progress and appointedly stop as the traffic laws ask you to. We know there is a requirement legally. Well, let us accede to that requirement in the knowledge that it may actually serve us to obey. We do not mechanistically disobey. Is it Jensenism or Jansenism? I really can't recall. But we certainly must not be complacent. Just because we understand that there is no retribution after a falsified, decrepit, disastrous, humiliating, deceitful life, willingly to engage in deceit at that level, and to harbour the view that there is no retribution. Well, there isn't any retribution. But let that not be a reason not to embellish one's life with beauty. For when one closes one's eyes for the very last time and breathes the last breath of this life, we are led to believe through A Course in Miracles and Conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh, not my conversations, Neil Donald Walsh, an attributed author who has exposed his life for all to see. We have a playback of our life. We understand and actually go through the process of exactly understanding how the other party who we humiliated or killed, how they feel. Now, what can be if we maim someone and they are in agony, in agony for the rest of their lives, which may be 20, 30 years, to be able to comprehend their agony. Now, that in itself is hell. It's not retribution. God does not force a constraint of hell, which the scriptures would have us believe, but you do actually go through hell in understanding how you have manipulated other people. You are appreciative of exactly how they feel. So you will experience pain if you have harmed somebody intentionally when you die, if you believe anything that you read. And I believe Conversations with God, Neil Donald Walsh. I believe he's truthful, he's telling the truth. He was a beggar on the way. You know his story because it's open online. A Course in Miracles, Dr. Helen Schuckman, doctor, clinical psychologist, Bill Thetford, her boss, doctor. Never disregard a moment's intention to be faithful to oneself, would be my view. And this is only a subjective, conscientious, subjective appraisal of where we are today. Now, we're late into the day. It's the night. So we're into 30 minutes or so coming up to 30 minutes. So this is an appraisal of where we are this evening. And I can tell you, it will be not full of retribution, it will be subdued, because we're at peace. We're at peace. We're at peace. How to convey that peace onward to one's fellow human beings, I won't say Christian, but human beings, because we're all human beings on this, are we? But most of us are, but some of us are starseeds. A minor. A, the beginning of the alphabet. Alpha. We're here to understand the juxtaposition of alpha and omega. Have a nice evening, my friends. God bless.